What's up guys, Derek, moreplates.com. Today we're going to be talking about the transgender fighter Alana McLaughlin. This is a video I did back in September, and it was a pretty controversial situation because this is not just, like the weightlifting shit, the cycling shit, that was already controversial in itself, where you had trans athletes competing against females who were formerly men who went through full-blown puberty and had been adult males for decades, retaining the same structural foundation of, like fucking literal organ weight, like so many different aspects of things that come along with being male when you're taller, longer limbs, different leverages, etc. Like there's a lot of shit that comes along with being male that is not just, whittled down or, can be kind of honed in on as simple as testosterone levels, because that's something that is always mentioned is, oh, if you just manually lowered their test levels to a certain amount, then, they're biologically equivalent, which obviously is not the fucking case when you have an individual who's gone through literally puberty and has been walking around with heightened levels of androgenic signaling, 10x that of a female, for fucking years. I think that's a pretty well understood thing at this point, that it is, kind of, unfair. However, those events / sports are events in which those individuals, aren't literally inflicting damage or life-threatening, permanent, like literal life-threatening potential damage on an opponent. It's, weightlifting or cycling or swimming or whatever. But in this one, they were a former like special ops and like pretty fucking alpha looking dude. If you see here, this is see all the tats, you see the visible outline of abs, some muscle mass, decent foundation of fucking contractile tissue on their frame. And then in more recent years, transitioning to female and with a aspiration to compete in mixed martial arts apparently and fuck up females. So Alana McLaughlin then enters into a league called Combat Global apparently, which at least I believe to be the case, because this is the company that actually fucking struck down my video. Yes, indeed. Basically, Alana McLaughlin fought against a female and beat them, and they, the league just let it happen. They were accepting of the scenario and thought it would be inclusive and fair to have Alana compete against a biological female, So it's something obviously highly controversial when you have a former special ops fucking trained male who is like not, like this doesn't even look like an average Joe Schmo. Like this is somebody who self-admittedly could do some like crazy feats of strength too, and otherwise was a fucking dangerous human, and then transitioning to female and literally fighting females in the cage. Right, kind of fucking insane. So this video gets struck down, and I'm like, what? I'm just fucking baffled, dude. Like, what could I have done that would have made any sense for this whatsoever? And when I say struck down, they copyright takedown striked it. So basically, what that means is they are claiming the rights to the video, and they don't even want to claim the ad revenue from it, which would be the most sensical thing if I was even featuring an amount of the fight that were actually justified it. Instead, I had like 20 minutes of unique commentary featuring random like little snippets of the fight, not the entire fucking fight. And there are individuals just reposting the fucking fight, like full blown with no commentary whatsoever. They're still up. So I don't know if it's just because I'm a channel bringing a lot of attention to the situation and they don't like it, or what, because they are obviously a, super inclusive league that is otherwise supportive of trans athletes fighting females. And I'm the only fucking channel that I've seen get, some sort of action like this taken against the video. So like if you go to the search bar, Alana McLaughlin MMA fight, we see Fight Den reacting to fighter debut, Alana McLaughlin versus Celine Provost. This is literally the fucking fight. Let's see, trans MMA fighter Alana McLaughlin slams critics, woke male beats female in fight debut. Fuck off, haters. With her rear naked choking the chick she beats. Trans dude beats the shit out of a woman in an MMA fight. Alana McLaughlin versus Celine Provost, full video, 16 minutes and 41 seconds, like the full fucking fight. Like that's it, dude, like straight up the full fight. Below the belt, Brendan Schaub, thoughts on trans fighter Alana McLaughlin. Fighting a Green Beret, Alana McLaughlin's big debut. So anyways, this was like a pretty highly covered subject, and it really sucked how I'm, being forced to essentially take down what I thought was very insightful commentary, had a lot of scientific basis behind it, and was not just reposting the whole fucking fight or something. It was definitely within fair use, given the fact that on YouTube, there are so many fucking channels that have featured this full fight that have been sitting there forever. Again, obviously this is going to be covered by anybody who has any insight on, I don't know, endocrinology, MMA, any sort of overlap that has to do with this insane situation. It's a very, very newsworthy topic, and as expected, it was highly requested that I cover it. So I did, and this is a video that sucked to have taken down because it is something that I felt was an important message to put out there. I don't think we should have trans athletes beating the shit out of females. It does not seem, fair, personally. I think there should be a trans division. I think that's totally reasonable. Maybe there's not gonna be a lot of people competing in it, but I mean, I don't know, do we see trans female to males competing against males in fucking UFC? It doesn't, I don't see it personally. I'm not saying it couldn't happen, but I mean, it just seems like there's a disproportionate either highlighting by not mainstream media on these kind of scenarios, or it's just not happening at all. But I mean, again, at the end of the day, both scenarios I feel would be unfair. If you had a female who had gone through puberty as a female and then took TRT to get up to natural levels and then was competing against men, it's probably not fucking fair. The men who have had years and years of androgen exposure are going to be at a much greater advantage than somebody who's transitioning from female to male and is going to be competing against them after being a transitioned male for only a short amount of time. Versus on the contrary, if you have a male transitioning to female competing against fucking biological females, also not fair, especially with the testosterone cutoffs, which are absurdly high. In a lot of these events still, you have 144 nanogram per deciliter totals, or 288, I believe in some cases too, even in the Olympic level. It's fucking absurd, dude. You have people allowed to essentially walk around at borderline low male T levels almost, and compete against natural females who have high binding protein production, total test levels not exceeding that of 50 to 60 nanograms per deciliter at most, and especially if they're dieting down to make a weight division, they're probably walking around with fucking 20-30% the test levels of a transitioned female. It's fucking absurd, dude. So, and that's that's just the test levels on paper too. It has nothing to do with all of the background of accrued skill from enhanced recovery over the years of having 10x the natural test levels, all of the different things that come along with being a biological male for fucking decades and then transitioning and getting in a ring. So I was like what is the deal, dude? What kind of motivation behind this do you have where you aren't going to just claim the revenue, but you're literally going to, by default, take down the fucking video? It's kind of fucked up in my opinion. What did you think when you were putting on this event, that it was not going to get some level of scrutiny? So anyways, maybe there will be an update on the next fight with Alana McLaughlin. Who knows what their next... I don't know what her next opponent is going to be, if it's going to happen, because she got a lot of, pushback on this, obviously. But if it does, you can be sure we'll probably be covering it. However, we will not be posting snippets of the fight because we know Combat Global are willing to do this kind of shit, apparently. So we'll see, dude. We'll see. Thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe, check out my blog, moreplacemordates.com. Follow me on Instagram, @moreplacemordates. Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, BitChute, not BitChute. This has been a while since I've done this.